Hey everybody, welcome to your weekly energy update for September 11th through September 18th. These are timeless though, of course. So if you do come across this outside that time frame, I would still watch the video because if your intuition brought you here, there's surely messages for you. Now, of course, we have Mercury retrograde that we've been in the pre-shadow for a little bit, but now as of the 10th of September, we have gone into full retrograde. So you've already been feeling the effects, but now we have these next couple weeks up until October 1st or through October 1st when we're feeling that Mercury retrograde, just challenges with communication and electronics and things like that. And that's okay. We don't want to start new things, brand new things. It's a beautiful time for reflection and editing and rehashing old things. So if you check my weekly that I put out a couple weeks ago, it does talk about the retrograde and what you can do during that time to make the most of the energy. Now, we also have starting up the impact of the eclipses that will be happening in late October and early November. We start to feel those between 4 and 6 weeks beforehand, so we're starting to feel the inklings of those. And I'll jump into those real quick in a moment, but I also wanted to make sure that everyone was aware, as part of my YouTube subscriber marathon, I did put out a new giveaway yesterday, which is for additional personal recorded readings. And it's going to be a fun one where if I get at least 10 comments, I'll pull one winner for a 30-minute recorded reading. If I get up to 20, I will do the 30-minute and a 45-minute giveaway. And if I get 30 comments, then I will actually do a 30-minute, a 45-minute, and give away a 1-hour personal recorded reading as well. So that will be listed in the link below. I also will throw the playlist for giveaways here too. So there are still some more giveaways out there. I just keep adding another one each Friday, and I usually allow a couple weeks for people to enter the drawing before I pull for that. So make sure to check out that playlist and also the link down below for that video if you want to sign up for that. All right, so back to the eclipses. Now, eclipses do bring us this energy of being at a crossroads or having some surprising plot twists. So we have October 25th is a partial solar eclipse in the new moon in Scorpio. And so the solar eclipse brings us new chapters, new beginnings, and because it's around the energy of Scorpio, these new chapters, new beginnings will be around intimacy, around transformation, around what we're leaving behind to move on to new things. So we're kind of looking to that for this reading. And then November 8th, we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. The lunar eclipses are more like the fruition, the endings of things. And with that Taurian energy, we're going to be looking into the material resources, abundance, your worth, and kind of the 5 senses around those. Those are the kind of things that are going to have some endings and some fruitions, like you get your reward and then you're ready to start something new, right? So that's where we're going to jump in for this reading. We're really going to zero in on those 2 areas, see what Spirit would like us to know that we're starting to feel those inklings toward those things. We'll have, of course, a reading for each individual zodiac sign, and we're jumping into yours right now. All right, Aries, this is your weekly energy update. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. And this is going to be what new chapter, which new beginning around this Scorpio new moon is going to be impacting you. And you'll start to feel the inklings now all the way up until the climax when October 25th, when the Scorpio new moon is at its newest. All right, so for our Aries, what would you like them to know? Okay. Boom. Wow. This is beautiful. So you do have the acceptance card that's coming in here, and that is card number 4. We'll put that right here. And what's amazing is that one of the key words of how to use your energy around these eclipses is acceptance. It's like acceptance and forgiveness, putting yourself in someone else's shoes and seeing it from their perspective. So it helps you with any kind of interactions that you might have with an individual, just to accept them where they're at, forgive them of anything that you might take personally from them, because it probably isn't personal. They're just going through their own little whirlwind of a life adventure, and they're probably feeling out of control and not feeling safe. So they're in this fight or flight mode, and they're doing these extreme things, trying to feel safe again. And so they're not even realizing what they're doing. And so accepting them, seeing things from their perspective, putting yourself in their shoes really helps you get along and use this eclipse energy in a way that it helps move things forward rather than battling, right? So this says, acceptance of the current situations is the first step to change. The past does not exist. The future hasn't happened. There's only right now. When we examine our lives and engage in some truth-telling, we are often confronted with what really is. This realization is powerful, but often we reject this truth if it's too hard to bear or we're afraid of accepting something so difficult. Each of us at some time has dodged our blind spots and then had the illumination of what it actually is eventually confront us, right? What we do next is crucial. Do we accept exactly where we are, no matter how painful or confronting? Or do we retreat back into our illusions and remain stuck or unchanging? So choosing to accept ourselves fully and the position we are in enables us to take the next step towards growth. When we can plant our feet solidly into the earth and say, yes, here is exactly where I am, and I accept this fully, then we can take the next steps confidently, honestly, and powerfully towards where we now wish to head. Accepting where we are right now in its fullness allows us to also accept that there may be some chaos in our change before there is full order again. This can be an exciting feeling rather than one that generates fear if we hold our new intentions clearly. And how perfect is that for that new moon? Because this is all about that Scorpio, new beginnings, new chapters around intimacy, transforming and, letting go of the old, moving into the new. So this is exactly the energy we were talking about. So they are letting you know that this is coming, and acceptance, putting yourself in that other person's shoes, is going to be transformational for you. And then we're going to look into the Power of Surrender deck here. And by the way, any of the cards I use in a reading, I do list in the description box below if any of them tickle your fancy and you want to check those out for yourself. But these are the Power of Surrender. So since this is talking about leaving stuff behind, and we're moving into the energy now of the lunar eclipse on November 8th, about what is ending, what is the fruition, what are we moving into? We'll see what you are surrendering. So for our Aries, what are they surrendering around this? All right. So for this full moon in Taurus, you have surrender to wonder and awe. And that says, open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. And that is so perfect. Again, right in alignment with what we were talking about here. You are ready to look at other people, look at things, look at the world, looking at what is, and just look at it with wonder and awe like a little child without putting a lot of definition and restriction around it. When you're a child and you just you see things for the first time. When a baby sees its hand and it's like, wow, now we just don't even realize our hands are there because we're so used to it. This is about having this renewed wonder and awe about life, about other people. Get rid of your past, understandings and perceptions of people and your like this restriction on what the future is supposed to hold. It's like letting everything go, seeing things with awe. I love that. And then we're also going to pull a card here from these gentle creatures and just see what else. I want you to know just about the eclipse season with these energies. All right, so what else would you like our Aries to know, please? Okay, they do want this one right there. And you've got the teacher. I love these cards. They're such beautiful, gentle creatures. Got personality for sure. So let's see what the teacher has to say here. And it says, "Come sit with the teacher, the ancient forest dweller. So much has passed before their watchful gaze. They've seen birth, growth, death so many times. Understanding passages of time is their gift to us. And when it feels as if something is taking too long, gaze into their eyes. Let their herbal smoke waft around to remind you that time, like smoke, dissipates easily. The message they bring us today is one of dichotomy. Sometimes the act of waiting feels like dragging yourself through the thickest mud. Other times you feel as if you are being propelled by hurricane-force winds. But time is a funny thing. When we dread something, when we do our best to ignore the coming event, that's when the hurricane blows. When we want something so badly, we feel a desperate need to arrive at the next point. Mud, mud, mud awaits us. Will we be sucked down? Will we be blown away? Our teacher creature offers this thought. What if we simply continue to move forward as we always have? Perhaps the lesson we need to contemplate today is that of living in this moment. If we focus on what is right in front of us, all things will happen as they're meant to happen. When we learn not to push the river or try to stop the wind, we can relieve ourselves of so much. Sit here with the teacher a bit. Let yourself breathe and just learn. I love that. I think that's it. Yep. So perfect. Yeah, that is one other thing. With the eclipse energy, it's about becoming observer of life, not trying to push things or blow things or whatever. It's about being where you're at, like this internalness, taking that step inward, watching things, not trying to control things. And I really feel like that was really present in all of this here too. And then we're going to use this Tarot of Dreams to get your final messages here for this week's energy. So definitely the eclipse energy is starting to have you look at these, types of subjects. And you probably already know what you feel is, beginning and the stuff that's falling away. But I love the advice there. Stand in other people's shoes, go inward and be an observer and go with the flow. So what else? What else do you want our Aries to know? Okay, they do want that one. What else? Okay, they do want that one and that one and that one and those two. Okay. So you get all of these. We'll just line them all up here. Perfect. We'll just move this up here. And we'll start with this one, and you have the Five of Wands. So you do have this change of energy that's happening, because the Five of Wands is like moving from conflict, where you're fearing that individuals are battling and battling and battling, trying to win over you, or you feel like you're having to battle to win over others. But the Five of Wands is this transformational change card, because it is the number 5, and it is about looking at things from a perspective of caring and love. That it kind of mentioned here too, the battling that happens, it happens when we're trying to prove something, right? The Five of Wands, it starts off, it really is, it looks like a kung fu movie that starts and everyone's battling and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? It looks like they're trying to kill one another. And eventually it gets down to where one person's remaining, barely standing. The other four are laying down on the ground, exhausted. And you're like, wow, is he going to like kill them all now? And then they all start laughing, and they all help each other up, and they all walk buddy down this path back to the monastery, to the meal hall, and they have a meal together. And it's like, oh, okay, what is this? And then you realize that these weren't people that were trying to hurt one another, that they were, fellow brother and sister, monks in this monastery that were trying to help each other out of care for one another to improve their skills. So this is a change of energy from that of friction and fear to one of love and care. So beautiful energy change that's coming up during this eclipse season for you. Yeah, you are fire energy. Why am I surprised? So you got Wands, which is fire element. You have Ace of Wands, which is fire element. And Ace of Wands is a new spark, a new passion that's coming up. And it makes sense here with this new beginnings that are coming that you definitely are going to have. Like with this change of how you're perceiving things and looking at things, your energy transforms. It brings in a new fiery energy. I mean, look at this beautiful fire that's coming in here. And that is great. That's that wonder and that awe of life. You do have this change instead of judging things, looking at why are things not the way you think they should be, and why is that person acting that way and this way and blah, blah, blah. Why is that event unfolding that way? That's not the way it should be. You're letting go of a lot of those expectations, which are the supposed to, the should, the need to, the have to, the must, all that stuff that we're taught. With that freedom, you do have this energy that comes in. So you're transforming your energy, and then you just have this spark that comes. Yeah, and then you have the Seven of Swords. Swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations overall. And we just talked about your expectations. Seven of Swords is it's like the deceiver card, the thief, the deception, but it's your thoughts that are deceiving you. And that's what I feel is coming into fruition here. The things that you're seeing, the things that you're surrendering and letting go is these old ways of looking at things. And so you are definitely becoming aware of what is of the human world and expectations and what is really connected to unconditional love, that from up above. That acceptance, that unconditional love and unconditional acceptance I talked about, that is helping you with this transformation, with these things that you're surrendering and letting go. Yeah. And here we go. That's perfect. So the 10 of Swords, look at how they're all stabbed in the back. They're exhausted, but this is great. It's a great card, even though it looks very painful, because 10 is the endings and you're ready for the new beginning. So exactly as we talked about with that full moon energy, you are putting a stop to how you were trying to live up to all these expectations, how you were trying to keep everyone in line and obey all those expectations out of fear, and now you're letting it go. I love it. Wands, wands, swords, swords. The kind of trouble and then the solution. Let's see what else you have here. Wow. Yep, 10 of Wands too. So ending of all that burden, all of that energy that you were investing in a different place, into trying to control the uncontrollable. You were investing so much energy into, like we talked about here, trying to live up to what everyone has told you you're supposed to be and should be and need to be, blah, blah, blah. And also that burden that you had upon yourself. I mean, look at this. You've got both of these, the burden, all the stabbing in the back, or all those expectations only brought you disappointment and stabbed you in the back. All that weight, all that pressure, that gravity that you're feeling on your shoulders and on your back, all that energy is being released. This Ace of Wands comes right after this. After you release all that energy, you're at the end of that journey and you're ready to move on to this new one here. I love it. Palace of Cups. Palaces are specific to this Tarot of Dreams deck. Most tarot decks don't have this. But if you look, I mean, cups are your emotions. This is at the bottom of the sea. This is you building this wonderful, safe place for you to feel your emotions. And you're at the very bottom where all the hurricanes and all that stuff that's going on up here, you don't feel that way down here in the deep depths of your emotions and your place, because you are creating this wonderful place where you feel your feels, you're looking at things. And again, we kind of come back to that stepping away, looking at things as an observer from down below and watching all the hurricane and all the storms and the battles happening, above on the surface of the sea, while you're all the way down here, just enjoying your emotions, enjoying who you are, enjoying what is, like it talked about. So this is a beautiful energies coming up for this eclipse season. They're giving you great advice on how you can best keep that eclipse energy from being overly dramatic and exploding. And so I love this for you. If you are looking for more messages of love from above, in addition to these weekly energy updates, I also put out monthly readings for each zodiac sign and a few other types of videos throughout the month. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and be updated immediately when they become available, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click the like button, also click the subscribe button, and that gives you access to the notification bell. And when you go in there, if you select the all option, then you will be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel, especially my giveaways and when I announce winners too. So that's important. Also, doing those things, it does help spread the love, and it helps my channel grow in significant ways. Because when you like a video or you share a video, comment on a video, and especially subscribing to the channel, doing those things makes the YouTube algorithm so happy. It does want to share the videos and messages of this channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am very grateful for that. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific information and answers for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is listed in the description box below. A lot of my services that I offer, I have a sliding price scale where you can choose between a few different price points for a price that is more in alignment with your budget. So you can check that out if you want to. All right, Aries, as you go throughout this next amazing eclipse season, please know that every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. Have an amazing week. We'll be talking soon. In the meantime, you hang in there and you take care.